James Cooley Show. It's Your Life can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah! Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah!
Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. I know Michelle is excited about this because she loves movies, film, and a lot of other great things. So I hope you get excited as well because we got one of the best in the business going to come on, and they're going to talk about the film industry and how he is doing it. So how you doing? How you doing, Michelle? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was talking to the guests prior to the show, and he's a independent filmmaker, director, and we're just excited to have him on. And like you said, I love films, and I can't wait to talk about some of the films he has done, the ones that he is currently working on, and his backstory of how he got into filmmaking and why. And who inspired him?
All of that is important. I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on E36 television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and over 84 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this discussion, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, can you do the honors by introducing the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. So the title of today's show is From Indie to Impact, How This Filmmaker Made a Hit Movie in Just 1 week. So we're having a conversation with Duane Edwards. He's a Chicago-based indie filmmaker and director. He's going to talk about what it takes to make a feature film in 1 week, the emotional depth and dynamics behind the film Wrong Numbers, the state of independent filmmaking in Chicago and why it's having a moment, how a project Greenlight finalist found his voice at midlife. So again, Duane Edwards, Chicago-based filmmaker and the creative force whose career spans acting, writing, producing, and directing. After funding and producing a series of acclaimed shorts under the Chicago Stories banner, including The Confession, Hit and Run, and Contest winner, Duane earned national attention as a top 3 finalist on HBO's Project Greenlight. I remember that, produced by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. His work has screened at domestic and international festivals, and his featured debut, Wrong Numbers, is a triumph of streamlined storytelling, shot in just 1 week and earning critical acclaim across major platforms. Duane is currently represented by United Talent Agency as a director-producer and is prepping his next feature film, Laura Louise, set to film in Chicago and starring Corbin Bernsen. Everyone remembers Corbin Bernsen from LA Law back in the day. So please welcome to the show, first time, Mr. Duane Edwards.
This is great. I love this synergy. You know, you two, prior to me backstage, I was like, man, you guys got it going on. I love it.
Oh man, we are excited about what you're doing. And how do you shoot a film in 1 week? How about everything had to have went right on the first take?
Well, I tell you, I mean, to put things in perspective, 2 actors, 4 locations, 115 pages in 7 days. And again, you're absolutely right. There's so many things that could have gone bump in the night. But if you surround yourself, and I did, with a powerful team, my co-producers, Phil Lee and Daryl Manuel, my cinematographer, Jeffrey Brown, my first AD, Mad Brad Smith, and you get people that bring skills to the table that you don't have that you can leverage. And then also the talent, Emily Hall and David Kelsey, they excel in this. And then you're positioned to do well, but there's not a guarantee.
You're right, but how you switch from the IT field, what you still in, I think.
I am.
To filmmaking. What type of adjustment was that? And your IT background, did that help you out in becoming a filmmaker?
Well, I've been in the information technology field for almost 25 years. I've worked for some of the largest information technology staffing firms in the world. You learn a lot through the corporal aspect of understanding how to drive initiatives, being better partners to your clients, to your team, in innovation. So when I made the transition of deciding to make short films, which was the first initial step, you again had to have that team approach, make sure that people are involved, make people are heard, you hear their ideas, and you put them in the best positions to succeed. And then once you started to, I guess I started to feel like I found a stride with the people I worked with, and that's behind the scenes, acting, then you start to find this cadence and you start to kind of build off of it. And that's what really led to Wrong Numbers of my first feature film.
Was filmmaking easier or harder than you could imagine? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you know, I started off as an actor. When I graduated from high school out of Houston, Texas, I moved up to New York. I studied acting. And I was there for 6 years. Then I moved out to LA where all the work was, worked out there, was on a soap opera for a while, did some guest starring roles, waited tables. But you get to the point of going, okay, I really want to make the transition. I felt like being on a set and having that experience as an actor, but I really wanted to be behind the camera. But again, I partnered up with Columbia University College here in Chicago. They have a plethora of talent. And I started working with really, I don't want to call kids, but young men and women that really understood the aspect through the curriculum of making films. And then I took them and said, hey, I'm going to self-finance these short films and I want to build a team. And it became kind of fluid for me that the background as an actor, the background as a corporate information technology executive, it all translated into making successful short films.
What was it like being on HBO and being a top 3 finalist on the Project Greenlight episode and working with those major stars?
Well, I tell you, when you're going through that process, you go to bed each night going, God, what if? Just what if? Just what if? And you know, to finally get a call, it was funny because Ben Affleck, he had called me and you were going through these certain levels to get to the next level, to get to the next level. And I get a call and Ben Affleck's like, hey, is this Dwayne Edwards? I was like, yeah. He goes, I got an IT problem. I need you over here ASAP. And I was like, who the hell is this? He's like, hey, this is Ben Affleck. Congratulations. You know, you're now part of the top 10 with Project Greenlight. So those moments are pretty satisfying, kind of surreal.
And they have to be. I was in the game for a while. Don't know if Michelle mentioned that to you. Acting, stand-up comedian, a lot of that earlier in the day, and it's a lot of work. And,
it is.
And you mentioned something about restaurant busting tables and all that. You have to survive. But sticking with it, have you ever thought about, what if it doesn't work? What am I going to do?
Man, I had that moment. I didn't go to college, went straight to New York at 18 after graduating, enrolled in acting classes. Had a friend up there that got me a small studio apartment at 70th and Broadway. I had to get 2 jobs. My dad said, "Hey, look, I can help you for about 6 months. After that, you're on your own." And you're absolutely right. I lived at 70th and Broadway. I got a back waiter job at Tavern on the Green in Central Park. I worked my way up as a captain, one of the youngest captains working at Tavern on the Green. I figured, hey, if I've got to wait tables, I'm going to work in 5-star restaurants. I want to make as much money as possible. But still, it doesn't fill that creative void of, hey, I really want to be acting. And then when you have an opportunity, I remember when I got into the Screen Actors Guild, it was on One Life to Live. It's called a U5, under 5 lines. And those are the toughest, I remember showing up, because you show up there, you do a table read. Next day, you do a walkthrough, a blocking, and by Friday, you shoot a show. But again, going through that process, you start to realize, hey, how many moments am I going to have to be able to act? And then when I went out to Los Angeles, I got a VIP role at a famous restaurant called the Ivy in Beverly Hills. And it got to the point where when I finally met my wife, I was like, okay, I'm 29 years old. I've been doing this for 12 years. I've got I want the basic things. I want a 401k. I want insurance. I want a paycheck. What do I need to do? But I didn't know what that was going to be like until my younger cousin, 7 years younger, he said, would you like a job in the information technology field? I said, I don't have a resume. I didn't go to college. He said, look, if you want the job, you can get it. And by that time, I was in Chicago. And that was like a rope falling down. And then I started to realize, okay, I can take this restaurant background experience. And I remember when I first got my first expense credit card, I said, can I go breakfast, lunch, dinner? They were like, go. And I realized if you're not spending money with your clients, you're not making money. And that was a differentiator. But as soon as I started to get my stock options, bills paid, all the things that I wanted, that creative void was still open. And I had to figure that out by going to make my own short films.
Wow. We're going to get off into that during the next segment, but we're going to take a station break. And whichever platform that you watch this on, you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. James, JC, Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you what, Dwayne Edwards, I saw the excitement in him, and during the first segment where we were getting a chance to know him, and we're gonna go off into a little bit more. We're gonna do a clip in a few minutes, but Dwayne, so what do you admire within your industry as a filmmaker and a director most, and who are some of your role models?
You know, I would say that's a great question. You know, there's a lot of great, talented filmmakers out there, but I look at Todd Field. Todd, I knew Todd many years ago back in New York, and he's only made 3 films, but I think out of the 3 films, he's got 14 Academy Award nominations. He started off with In the Bedroom in 2001 with Sissy Spacek. Then after that, 5 years later, he made Little Children with Kate Winslet. Then 16 years went by, and then he made Tar with Kate Blanchett. When I look at that, I every time I see his films, it's just a level of detail, a level of storytelling that I kind of compare to Stanley Kubrick. And he actually started off as an actor. That's how we met in New York. But he's someone I really kind of admire. And if I could wave my magic wand and, you know, compress, I don't want 16 years to go by to make my next film, even though I'm going to be making it in October. But I just love the levity of, he's a very talented writer, director. You know, I'm a director, producer. I collaborate with my writer. So to me, he's really kind of like my lightning rod of, I want to emulate material that resonates with an audience like that. He's not your typical filmmaker, but he's very talented.
And we got Will Thang. I like how he credited his whole team. How did that team come together? He's asking you a question.
You know, it really, I think of Phil Lee and Daryl. You know, they have a production company here called Spin Artists. And when we started talking about making wrong numbers, I used my same kind of platform of like, I want to vet people, I want to meet people, I want to trust and verify. And they brought certain players like Jeff Brown, the cinematographer, and Brad Smith, the first AD. And when I had a chance to meet them, I knew that they were going to be true partners for us and for me as a first-time feature director in Wrong Numbers. So I credit Phil Lee and Daryl of kind of making those key introductions, and then it starts to domino. Then Brad says, we need X, Y, Z. These individuals are great. Even though Phil and Daryl have already worked with them on a music video or a commercial or in some aspect that you know their character, you know their drive, and you know their work ethic.
Wow. Let's talk about Wrong Numbers. Actually, let's show a quick clip of it, and then we come back and talk about it on the other side.
Sure.
Here we go.
Oh, I hate blind dates. meet. I told you that. It was a blind date.
Let's break the orbit.
So how long have you been married?
14 next May.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is.
Are you happy?
To your cosmic.
You don't have a filter, do you? Why did you invite yourself to my apartment?
Get out.
You started this!
I started what? Do not go anywhere.
Life can change on a dime, you know?
To erase your tears.
Just be honest.
Just be honest.
Hey, yes! Get your hands off!
And look, we didn't like murder somebody, you know?
I love the trailer. that was my first time seeing the trailer. I know Michelle had looked at it, but I love that trailer.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I have actually that is the official trailer, but you know, I think I've got 4 different versions, different music. But again, I always have to make sure that I get get the authorization from the artist, you know, make sure everything clears. So there was some of those where, you know, it'd be like me buying a house if I wanted to use this song.
Oh, absolutely. You know, so what's the premise behind Wrong Numbers?
Well, it's really 2 individuals. You know, Emily plays Emma in her 20s that has a horrendous blind date at a 5-star restaurant. Jack, who's played by David Kelsey, he's seated at the larger table next to their deuce, and they're winding down a business meal. And there's this interaction that he picks something up by just the body language, and a conversation starts. And I wanted it to be very real. I didn't want it to be the typical recipe of what you're used to seeing in a relationship film. But it turns into a one-night stand, and what those consequences are for each of them as they fast forward 8 months later, and then they re-meet again, and how this kind of unravels. And it's not, a takeoff of Fatal Attraction. It's really, it's driven by the dialogue of these 2 characters that you get to meet in the intimacy of what they're talking about, learning about. But it's a slice of life.
It is. I think you went through indie films to do this. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what is that, James?
I think you went through indie films.
Well, what I did was, once I made the film, I wanted to find a distributor that could really support it, and that was Indie Rights that became the distributor. We premiered at the Beverly Hills Film Festival in Los Angeles. It screened at the Chinese Man, which was amazing. They had a red carpet. You know, it felt full-fledged Hollywood. And they picked it up. The following week, they took it to the Cannes Film Festival. They streamed it for the streamers. Amazon picked it up. So there was this collective kind of, things fell into place for the right reason at the right time.
What type of genre would you consider this film?
It's a thriller / drama because it's dialogue driven. As we know in life, I mean, we know a lot of people, friends, family, neighbors that have either gone through a rough patch or divorce. which is now like over 50%. And my wife and I, we've been together now 31 years. And I always saw these situations as more than just,
Hold up. You said 31 years.
31 years, yes, sir.
You don't even look like you.
Well, brother, I'm taking that as a compliment.
Oh, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's quite all right. But you hear about these things, and when they start to happen closer to home, it's not like you want to dig into the details of what happens. But marriages, they don't always last. But I wanted to have a story where two characters, through their choices, because I wanted to make sure that Jack, being a married man, successful businessman, is not out there, being a predatorial character. And I didn't want Emily, being a young woman in her 20s, looking for, an older man to take care of her. The movie starts to articulate their history and their background. And that's where that volley that I just loved. I mean, one of my favorite guys to follow is Rick Rubin. And, he's a very famous record producer. And there's a quote I took going into Wrong Numbers, which is, if it's an album, a song, a movie, piece of artwork, make it because you love it, because you cannot control the outcome of what an audience is going to feel or think. And that was kind of like my striving point, because even my agency at the time, which I'm very fortunate to be with, they were like, you need name actors. And I was like, I have a vision, because one, if I select these actors you're proposing, they just ate up my budget and I can't go make my movie. But I wanted to approach this kind of like that these actors were talented enough, which they were, but not recognizable through their body of work, that the audience would find it more believable. It's like going to a play. When that curtain comes up, I don't know who's on stage. I don't know who's playing King Lear. But at intermission, I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing. And then you start to see just the plethora of work that they have over the years. And I told my actors, that's what we want to go for. We want the audience to have as many instances to believe that this is really happening. And I think that's been kind of like hopefully the differentiator in a film like Wrong Numbers.
So how long did it take you to write Wrong Numbers? And when did you know that you had completed it and you were ready to go in front of the acting and filming?
Well, James, as I stated, I'm not a writer. I'm a collaborator. My writer, who's so talented, Frederick Mintz, he wrote HBO's Nightingale. One actor, one location. He got picked up by Brad Pitt's company, Plan B. They sold it to HBO. It was up for a Golden Globe and an Emmy. Didn't win, but he's very talented. But he brings his work to me. And then we start to talk about what this would look like as a film. And for me, that's, again, I'm all about, surrounding myself with people that bring skills that I don't have. And when I first read Wrong Numbers, I was like, this is very unique. You've got 2 actors, 4 locations. That means production value cost is going to be down. And if we can make it for minimal, but it can still look like a major motion picture, there's a high upside when it comes to margins. And to me, that's the business aspect that I bring, and also the creative aspect of producing it, financing it, and then making sure it goes through those stages. But I knew from reading it that it was a very unique piece.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like your style. You stay in your lane in the things that you do. You bring people in, and the lane that they're in, that they specialize in, and you bring everything together, because you have to surround yourself with the right people.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's building your own tribe. I mean, I've had so many friends in Los Angeles and New York that have begged, borrowed, and stole money to go make an 800, 900, 1.2 million, but they don't have the idea of how is this going to find distribution? How is this going to get out to an audience? It's a lot easier now with so many outlets, but It's also getting a lot tougher too. 4 years ago, or even 3 years ago, you can make a film.
Hold that thought.
Sure.
Take a station break. Got to take a station break. But this is so interesting. And when we get back, I think Michelle is going to be joining us. I know she got a million questions, but I tell you, whichever platform that you watching this on, was it E36 television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and over 84 other platforms. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And I tell you what, I am sitting back thoroughly enjoying this discussion with Dwayne Edwards, and fascinated about his movies, where he produced it, and where it was 7 days. 7 days, called wrong numbers. Dwayne, people that are sitting back listening to this, like, how can I watch this movie? How can I get it? I want to see it.
Yeah, you can get it on Indie Rights channel. You can also Amazon Prime. You can watch it on Tubi. YouTube also offers it, TV, and then Google Play. So it's out there in that sense that people can have different ways of either renting it or watching it free with ads.
Yeah, so you chose 4 different locations. How do you go about choosing those 4 locations? I mean,
that's a great question.
That in mind, or
here it is. With my information technology position, I dine at a lot of restaurants, but I go to the same restaurants. I take my clients for lunch at the Palm. The Palm is inside the Swiss Hotel. I built a great relationship with the GM at the Swiss Hotel. He's always known my passion. So when I wanted to find a suite within the hotel that could represent a very wealthy business person's apartment. He was like, I'm in. And I was afraid, like, hey, we're going to be filming at the Swiss Hotel. He's like, no, I took it to the Swiss Hotel. Long as you put us in the credits, they want the credits. I was like, brother, not a problem. Then my other good friend, Angelo, he owns a 5-star steakhouse called Rosebud. I've known him for 20 years. My clients at JP Morgan, when he ran Rosebuds in the Loop, I would take my clients there, built a great relationship. His dream was to own his own restaurant. Mine was to make a film. He got his own restaurant. I'm making my film. He's like, you got to shoot my restaurant. So that was perfect timing. And then my producer, Phil Lee, he said, there's a great coffee shop. We don't want to go with Starbucks. Not that we could even afford shooting at Starbucks. We wanted something that really had character to it. So we found Pico and Bean, which was just perfect. And then for the garden apartment, which represents Emma's apartment, my writer, so funny, Frederick goes, well, I've got a daughter. She's 22 and she's going to college and she's got a garden apartment. I said, let's take a look at it. We saw it. He goes, yeah, but there is something that, she wants. I said, what does she want? She goes, well, she's been saving up her money to buy a Great Dane puppy. I said, Frederick, consider it done. She doesn't have to name the dog after me, but the dog is hers, So you get creative, man.
Oh man, yeah, just like I mentioned to you, I was in the game for a while, so I know how that is. Kind of glad to be out the game, because it's tough sometimes. It's tough. Seems like you having fun in this, and I got to give a shout out to my second mom, Joyce Fisher, watching the show back in Orlando, Florida. How you doing, Mom? How you doing? So, but yes, my question was that Michelle opened the door and kind of steered me off a little bit. Was you said that this is going to be coming to airplanes as well? I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is what I'm mostly excited about. I mean, my friend and one of my clients, Jason Bourbon, who's the CIO of United Airlines. I did a private screening because I run a CIO supper club here in Chicago for the last 5 years. He saw the film. He says, I want to get it on every one of our planes. So I said, how does that happen? He introduced me to the in-flight team. Long and short, United passed on it. But what they did was they introduced me to another distributor that just represents in-flight content for all the airlines. I can't announce the two airlines until September 1st. It's in my agreement with them, but they're two of the largest international worldwide carriers that it's going to be a part of their in-flight entertainment on September 1st. But we've got a big press release coming out on September 1st, so we can finally unveil who those airlines are. But it's funny how that comes full circle, because Jason was just like, man, I was so disappointed. I said, look, brother, without you, your team would have never introduced me to this vendor. So that's kind of like that lightning in a bottle.
I was mentioning to you before the show, before we got live, that I usually look at in-flight entertainment. And if I don't feel like watching a 3-hour movie, I usually go for the 90 minutes, whether it's a documentary or it's a feature film. So I'm really excited for you.
Hold on. I got to ask him this question.
What?
So is you don't have to get airlines, but is it international airlines?
Oh yeah, it's going to be. They are two of the largest. This is going to be international, worldwide. I'm so excited. I mean, to know that I'm not relying on somebody renting it or watching it with ads. They are very good licensing fees. So it's really, I mean, I think it's on 1,800 planes combined, and that's just people in seats. So I look at that like, I do feel, I've been manifesting that someone on a flight, I don't care if it's New York or LA, someone is going to go, this really resonated with me. And I feel like that's going to be a perpetual opportunity to build stronger investors, partners. The sky's the limit with that kind of exposure.
Wow, I am so excited for you. That is
Thank you.
great exposure. Can't wait for the press release about which international airlines is going to be showcased on as in-flight entertainment. So my question to you is, Dwayne, what is your goal? I mean, with this movie, we're Wrong Numbers. I know James showed the trailer already. Where do you get your inspiration from regarding let's say the films that you make? Is it based on life experiences? Is it based on just, an idea that comes to you?
When it came to my short films, it was ideas that I had. Then I would work with certain writers. But once Frederick and I connected, it became this real kind of connection. So I remember I have a project that it didn't get made yet, but it's going to get made. It's called Supreme Ruler. And we had Anthony Anderson, Academy Award, Marcia Gay Harden, Juliette Lewis, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Vincent D'Onofrio, just a stellar cast. And I thought for sure this was going to get made, and we just couldn't get the financing. And that's when I had to take a step back, and Wrong Numbers became the focus. But it's really, I guess, it's how Frederick and I work together, because even the new movie with Corbin Bernsen, who's so fabulous on John Hamm's Apple Plus, Your Friends and Neighbors, he plays John Hamm's ruthless boss. He's brilliant in it, and he's now my lead in our new film that Frederick wrote called Louise, which we're in post-production right now. We start filming October 1st in Dixon, Illinois. I'm excited about that because again, it's 6 actors. It's a 2-week shoot in one location, which is a house. And when you tell people that, like, well, is that a movie? But the dialogue, it's been, I guess the script has been compared to Gone Baby Gone and Mystic River.
Oh, I remember those movies. Is it Mystic River? Is that the one with Kevin Bacon? I just want to make sure.
Kevin Bacon, Sean Penn, Tim Robbins, and Marcia Gay Harden, where you think you know, but you really don't know. And then you find out, oh my God, it's really, Louise has that slow burn. It takes you around a corner and you think, oh, I got it. And then you're like, oh my God, this just made a big right turn. It's such a good read.
I love when a film just surprises me at the end. It's kind of like, the one with Bruce Willis. No one could figure it out at the end. It's like, oh my goodness.
Sixth Sense. No, it's got that kind of element to it. But again, I think Frederick's writing, he's just got such a unique voice that I really resonate with. And then it's just, how do you take it off the script, cast the right actors? Because Corbin was great. Corbin was like, Dwayne, my wife and I, we have a house in France. We were in France, and it was like 3 in the morning, and I had jet lag. My manager sent me the script. I read it. I couldn't put it down, and replied back saying I'm in. And then like 2 weeks later, we met in LA, and really I could tell that he was really excited about this opportunity. It's to me, I feel like it could be a Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler or Brendan Fraser in the Whale. It's just got that substance. But again, it's just about preparation and casting the right people around him.
And we'll talk about casting the right people. I think we're getting ready to go to the break because, as you say, James, we got to pay the bills. He's coming back on.
Yeah. This is so exciting. I don't went over by 2 minutes of the break, but I'll tell you what, I know you're enjoying this. I'm looking at the numbers. Michelle, you're looking at the numbers as well.
Yes.
I'm looking at the numbers. So, Dwayne, lots and lots of folks are watching us. But I tell you, we got to
nice. I appreciate it. Well, you guys, giving me this kind of exposure is greatly appreciated. I don't take it for granted. I mean, the one thing that we have in life is time, and that's a true commodity. So, for you guys to allow me to be on your show, I take this, wholeheartedly. It's very appreciative.
And this is absolutely fantastic. Crystal, thank you. We're going to take a station break. We'll be back. Don't let the break.
The future is here. Now is the time to pursue the greatness in you. Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith meets future. We are a fully accredited, 100% online Christian university. We offer bachelor's degree, master's and doctorate degree programs, built for students like you. Affordable tuitions, 30+ degree programs, 100% online and flexible. Integrating faith with learning. Study from anywhere at your pace. At VCU, we do not just prepare you for a degree. We prepare you for purpose. Discover who you are, grow in faith, and build a future that impacts the world.
Are you ready to start your journey today?
Visit www.viridianchristianuniversity.com.
Apply today and be among the global leaders.
J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. The reason I showed that is I was in Africa about 3.5 weeks ago, and it was so much fun there, and I'm fortunate enough to be heading back there this week in Saturday, so to Ghana, and on the invitation of the King, and so I'm so excited about that. I hope it's going to be as exciting as Zanzibar, because I ain't never seen nobody do that and run and jump.
No, that was funny.
You know what? Well, before we get started, I want to talk about this great university called Viridian Christian University. This university, to me, I think is superb. I'm not saying that because I'm the chancellor. But I'm saying that is because we offer over 36+ degree programs. Our school is fully accredited. We offer bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and honorary doctorates if you're doing above and beyond in your community, in your fields, etc. If you're looking to further your education, I say we are 1/5 the cost of any university that you're going to run across. 1/5 the cost. All you have to do is go to ViridianChristianUniversity.com, ViridianChristianUniversity.com. If you're doing above and beyond, go to ViridianChristianUniversity.com, go down to the honorary doctorate degrees, fill out the application, put the chancellor down as me. I'll make sure that your application get reviewed. And if you meet the criteria, you're doing great things. Let's see what we can do. I want to get back to the show. Michelle, I'm going to turn it over to you because I know you got a few questions. We got about 7 minutes left in it.
Oh, yes, most definitely. So, Dwayne, let's talk about casting and casting choices. I am familiar with a lot of the names that you just mentioned. You mentioned Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and I'm familiar with him as Negan on The Walking Dead, but he has done so many great appearances, Grey's Anatomy, etc. What are you looking for when you do your films and you got the characters and you're working with, your team? Do you have like a vision of the actor that you can see, actor or actress seen playing this role? Or do you create the role for a specific actor
Yeah,
before?
that's a great question. I mean, when it came to Supreme Ruler, I relied on my agency UTA because they know their talent so much better than I do. And sometimes their instincts are so right to be able to meet some of these very talented, like, at that time, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I met with Jeffrey and he was a sweetheart of a guy. And then we attached Brian Garrity, who's on 1923, and he's become a very good friend. And then we got Marcy Gay Harden, Vincent D'Onofrio. But that was the agency saying, one, we love the script so much. Can we get it to X? And I'd be like, yeah, you can. I mean, absolutely. Don't let me hold you back. Then it's the opposite, where I've worked with someone and I see the talent that they have, that I want to develop a script just for them. And that's exciting too, because that's a different path. I've seen how they performed, and I see a side that I want to kind of expand on. And I know they have the capability to deliver that type of performance. So it's a combination.
Well, has there ever been, of course, I don't want you to name names, that maybe you thought this actor, actress was good for this role? Once, things got moving, it's like, you know what? They're better in this other role, either in my next movie or maybe this other character in the same movie. Has that ever happened?
Well, it happens as you start to meet and you start going through the casting process, and then you start to understand. I mean, I'm still casting two of the roles in Laura Louise, and my casting director, Aaron, out of Los Angeles, he's just got such a good eye that, again, I always want to kind of make sure that they're leveraging their talent and they're going, here's my number one choice, here's my second choice. And then I won't know who that is. I'll look at the self-tapes and I'll go, I like this person. They're like, that's my number one choice. And then I even get Frederick, because I value Frederick's insight too, that I'll say, Frederick, take a look at these 12 actors for role XYZ. He'll go, I really like her. And I'm like, that's who I like. That's it. So there is this kind of, once you understand the material, and every actor are just so brilliant, they come in and bring different qualities in their self-tapes, that it can be very challenging to go, who's really going to service the role in the film at the best level that you're looking for. But it's tough. I mean, even with wrong numbers, I knew Dave Kelsey for a long time, and I knew Dave was a workhorse and Dave could deliver. I just needed to find the other side of that coin to find Emily. And I remember, I think Aaron had sent me probably 8 to 10 self-tapes, and I think maybe she was number 3 or number 4, but I just knew, seeing her self-tape, that's what I want. That's what I need. And then when you meet them, they're not the same person on their self-tape, because they're doing your lines from your script, but you just know, okay, I saw that. They can deliver that. And then, it starts to make a better way of making a decision for the right actor for the right role.
Wow, we have about a minute left before the end of the show. What advice you want to give to aspiring filmmakers when it's, maybe challenging for them to get their film funded, or just to find their right break?
Yeah, it's like, don't wait. Go out there and do. I'll give you a great example. I took it from David Lynch, my postal guy, 31 years here in my building. And he was afraid to talk to me, but he has an idea and he's not a writer. I said, look, buy an index cards, start writing out a scene, start to write that out. You know, girl enters lobby building, has conversation, then do another card. As soon as you can get 50 to 60 of those index cards, you got a script. You just haven't flushed out the dialogue, but you have those scenes. So you can always be doing, but you know, this is a day and the age where people want to be reviewing and watching. You got to put your stuff down and you got to go out and do, because action will create action, but it's not going to create action by thinking about it, talking about it, writing it down. You've got to go out and do something.
You got to go out and do something. Hey, Dwayne, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Crystal, you know, you are a girl. Always sending us great guests. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live. Also, all the different platforms, radio stations, television, everything. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.
Doctor.